Please stand for the opening prayer and pledge.
Father in heaven, bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts that we will work for the good of our community. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Thy will be done. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hancock County Commission will come to order this 5th day of April 2018 at 2:30 p.m. Mr. Clerk, I'll ask you to do a roll call.
Mr. Davis, all commissioners are present.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes from March 26, 2018 meeting.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under new business, approval of the grass cutting bids for 2018. Gentlemen, we had five different properties, 5 packages that we advertised for. We had a number of local businesses who responded to the ads. There was also a pre-bid meeting, so each and every one understood what the properties were that they were going to be looking at taking care of.
With that said, I will move to pass the grass cutting bid winners as dictated here. Do you want the names?
Please.
Package 1, DNS Lawn Care. Package 2, DNS Lawn Care. Package 3, Pizzaferrato Properties. Package 4, DNS Lawn Care. And Package 5, Pizzaferrato Properties. They were all the low bidders on each package. I'd move to approve these as our grass cutters unless we see deemed to remove them as we did last year. There weren't any of these, fortunately, but if they don't do a good job, we reserve that right.
Motion before us is to approve has been presented. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval to appoint an individual to the Oakland PSD Board.
We only had one applicant, and I'd like to make the motion that we accept Ryan Scott for that position.
Motion before us. Is there any discussion? This will go for the unexpired term until 2022 to replace Mr. Hildebrand, who has resigned. No further discussion. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval to appoint an individual to the Hancock County Health Board.
A little while ago, we actually conducted interviews for at least 9, maybe 10 applicants that applied for the health board. And I would like to make a motion that we approve Sam DiCaprio for the vacant position, effective June 1 or May 18th. It'll be when Mr. Smith's term's up. It's either May 18th or June 1. June 1? Thank you. Beginning June 1.
June 1 of 18. Okay. Motion before us is to appoint Sam DiCaprio to that position. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of a release of deed of trust for the following individual as a 5-year lien has lapsed. J.A. Taylor.
I'll move to approve. I don't have one here, but I'm sure he's up
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of a grant agreement with the West Virginia Commission on Drunk Driving Prevention.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of a memorandum agreement with WVU Extension Service and the County Extension Service for fiscal year 18-19.
Also move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of provider agreement with Juvenile Mediation Services.
Move to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of pro agreement with the Hancock County Board of Education.
Move to approve.
Discussion?
This particular agreement here, this will be a new spot at the Career Center,
Yes,
John D. Rockefeller Career Center,
Yes, sir.
and the Hancock County Board of Education has agreed to assume pretty much total liability for that.
I can't remember the exact number, but a great deal of
Yes.
all of it.
Yes. So this is going to come at a minimum cost to the county, which is great for us.
Yes, sir.
And I think the rest of the agreements are along with this for each school.
The other things is within,
Yes.
yes.
Our portion of the PROs,
I believe, yes.
Yeah. which excludes what? We're middle and we're high only?
No. The portion that the Board of Education picks up is the 3 elementary schools in the county, and now, with your approval, it'll include the 4th school, which is the Rockefeller Center.
Okay.
So the other 2 in our district are of the county, meaning Oak Glen and Oak Glen Middle, is covered under the county commission along with grants.
Right.
The other 2, of course, the southern schools, we're middle, and that's also under the commission as well as the grant. Okay. Mr. Woodward's here. If you care to ask any further questions in regards to this.
No.
Unless you want to pick up more, I mean, it's, you know, we're good. We're good. Board approved unanimously. So
Appreciate your foresight into looking at that.
thank you for your consideration.
Yes.
Okay, the motion before us is to approve the agreements as within our package. No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. County Clerk requesting approval of the appointment of Roger Isla as fiduciary commissioner for Hancock County for a term of April 1st, 2018 to March 31st, 2020.
Move to approve.
Discussion?
Who was this being replaced by, or who's being replaced, or who was it at that time before that? Do you know?
I believe it was Stephen Recht.
It was just April, May.
No, I think it was Ryan Rokiski.
They changed.
Well, we have 3.
Where were you?
Any other opinions? Thoughts?
I had a question on it.
No.
Move to approve.
The motion before us is to approve Roger Isla. Any further discussion on his appointment?
Okay.
Hey, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. From the Office of Technology and Communication, requesting approval to remove Matthew McCune from his full-time to a part-time dispatch position effective April 1st, 2018.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Prosecuting Attorney's Office requesting approval of a depository bond with Hancock County Savings Bank.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. From the Sheriff's Department requesting approval to advertise for the position of a tax deputy.
Move to approve.
Sheriff, comments?
Ms. Sally Rutter will be retiring, and in order to replace someone within that office, we need some time to train. She's already announced that she's leaving, so I need to start moving on hiring her, someone to replace.
Good. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Requesting approval to create a new prevention resource officer position at the Votech building.
Move to approve. So I put the cart before the horse last time. I didn't realize this was going to come under a separate one. So,
Motions to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Also from the Sheriff's Department requesting approval to hire a probationary deputy.
Move to approve.
Comments?
This is for backfill. Of course, I'll be taking an experienced officer from the field and putting him into the school, and this is to replace that field officer. We have a test that's still good for hiring, although we're coming to the end of it. So I'd greatly appreciate if we move on this now so that we can keep from any further delay. Thank you.
Okay. Motion before us.
The test was given May 15th of 15 or May 2015, and it's good for 3 years, so it's coming up soon.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. From Finance Department, approval of probates and estates.
They have been reviewed and are recommended for approval as to form.
Move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of exoneration orders.
Move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the general county bills.
General county bills are $47,092.83. P-card payment for all funds is $57,629.81. And March payments for all funds is $850,589.25.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the animal shelter levy. Funds, bills, requisitions.
They're okay to pay.
Move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of library levy. Funds, bills, and requisitions.
All 3 libraries submitted, and they're okay to pay.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the shelter workshop levy, fund bills, and requisitions.
They're okay to pay.
Move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Hey, gentlemen, we have a couple individuals that would like to speak to the commission today. The first gentleman is Ian Wilson.
That's me. I'm disgusted, and I live in New Cumberland. I'd like to start with the governor just recently signed a bill increasing litter fines. They're now under 100 pounds. It's from $100 to $2,500 if it's on land. On water, it is $500 to $3,000. Between 100 pounds and 500 pounds, it's $2,500 up to $5,000 on land. On water, it's up to $5,500. More than 500 pounds, that's $2,500 up to $25,000. That is the fine you get for littering over 500 pounds on West Virginia land in Hancock County. In water, it's up to $11,000. Recently, there's 6 cases in Mercer County. They have a litter enforcement officer. This gentleman, he did 6. He did 6 citations against people that littered, and from those 6, the county got $6,091.50, and half this money goes to the state. Half of it stays here in our county. Half of it is yours to spend on what you want. Maybe we can hire more officers. Maybe we can get some dumpsters open for the public. That's that. Just the enforcement. We really should do the enforcement. I've heard in the past that this county used to have inmates come up from the jail, and they'd cart the inmates up. I've done this myself in the past in a different state. I went out and picked up garbage while I was incarcerated. I heard it used to happen, but it doesn't happen anymore. I've never seen a crew up here in Hancock County doing this. I hear they do it in Wheeling and other counties. I would really like you guys to look into doing that. Maybe get a van and get some guys up here, get them out of jail. I'm sure they'd love to get out of jail, come up here and help pick up our county some. The work program, convicts, put them to work. Mercer County. We talked about the money that we can spend on other things. I know people are running for office. Mr. Barnaby, you were on the school board at one time?
Yeah.
How long were you on the school board for?
10 years.
10 years, awesome. Jeff, how long have you been on the commission here?
18.
Holy moly. Wow. All right. I ran across a guy last night that I guess he's running for re-election on the school board, and I wrote this little bit to him, and this goes out to you in particular, sir. I know we've had a conversation on litter before. It seemed to equal nothing. This is to Larry. Howdy, Larry. I have some questions before I cast my vote. How long have you been on our county's Board of Education? These are all just rhetorical right now. What's your stance on all the litter and trash in this area, Larry? And do you agree that much of the litter we see on our roads today was placed there by past and present students of Hancock County schools? Can you see that, in part, our litter problem is the fault of our Hancock County schools? Do you think teaching kids to respect themselves, each other, their community is our school's responsibility? Mr. Barnaby, do you think all the trash that we see around here is a little bit the school's responsibility?
Excuse me, Mr. Wilson. I think those questions should be brought up at the Board of Education. These do not pertain. Those questions and your comments to Mr. Shaw.
Mr. Jeff Davis, with all due respect, this has everything to do with this because you guys are the 3 sitting up highest. You've been here for a long, long time.
Right, but they don't pertain to the Board of Education.
What is your stance? I'm asking this of the Board of Education, the people that are going up and the people that have been on there. I just asked a simple yes or no question. Do you think it's somehow the school's responsibility? I do. And recently I read about the resource officers coming into our schools. It's a very sad thing that has to happen. But I think it's also could be a wonderful opportunity. I'm going to ask the sheriff, our school board, and our county commission that these guys and gals, the new resource officers, look out for litter bugs at the schools. Nip it in the bud before they grow up to be large slobs. Can you imagine if few of these officers write 2 or 3 tickets in a week or a month, how fast word would spread around the school and the neighborhoods to not litter? Also, some of these fines of community service would help little wayward tykes see the error of their ways. From what I hear, a lot of people, if you mention litter to some people in almost any conversation, maybe anywhere in this county, they talk about kids getting dropped off at school and returning home from school, and just cars, just kids throwing their trash out the window, kids and parents, all along the school grounds. And these resource officers could help keep an eye on that and see when it happens and actually do something. I usually start off these meetings asking how many tickets you've handed out for litter. I've been coming to these meetings for 14 months. I've never once received an answer from you. Sir, do you know off the top of your head how many litter citations and tickets your department has handed out in the last 14 months to a year? Just general, roundabout.
0.
Once more? 0.
You heard it the first time.
Okay. That should stop.
Mr.
All the
Wilson.
litter around here.
Mr. Wilson.
You talk to...
Have you seen somebody throw something out their windows? Have you seen it where somebody threw trash out the window? Or have you seen the after effect?
I've heard of places.
Have you seen?
Yes, I've seen the after
You
effects.
have a right, if you see a car throw litter out, you have a right to take down that information and go to a magistrate and file a complaint for a misdemeanor.
All right. West Virginia state law states if there's like six garbage cans tossed out, we can go through that, and if there's a receipt or an address in there, you can get the person that does that. I see 6 garbage bags along the side of the road all the time. If you guys do one post to Facebook looking up for litter, saying you find litter, you call me, I'll go get that litter, I'll find an address in there, and that's prima facie, whatever lawyers speak, to prosecute that person. You need to hand out some more tickets, please. Talk to any member of the community that sees a bad spot, and they will tell you, yeah, just sit right here and watch those kids over at that picnic table. They will do it. You hand out 3 tickets, and the word will spread. But you need to do more. But sorry to be so harsh on you, but 0. I'm glad I finally got an answer from you. The last thing I'd like to say is Mark Cowden gets out of prison today. Mark Cowden is a good man. Was a sheriff here. I think he ran for sheriff. Got out of prison. I don't know who did what to him. I don't know how he got in prison. But some people in this room, maybe some people in this room, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not naming names, but this man, a good man, a sheriff, ran for office, and he spent a whole bunch of time in prison. Now he's out. I'd like to welcome him home and just say, some of you, a lot of us should be disgusted. Some of you should be ashamed. It's disgusting. Hancock County needs to be cleaned up. And however long you've been on this board, you are responsible, sir. School board, same thing. You want to clean up the drugs? Let's start with the litter. Thank you. I'm done.
Next, we have Mark DeBrine from the West Virginia Office of Technology. Mark, welcome.
Hello, Mark.
Good afternoon. I work for the West Virginia Office of Technology, and one of my duties is I receive any constituent complaints that come in from the governor's office that have to do with technology. And over the last year, since the new administration came in, they've made it a real priority to try and address those rather than just listen to them. And that has brought me to Hancock County because we've got some complaints about internet service outside of the corporate cities and just the more populated areas. One of the problems with that is it's not financially feasible for a provider of internet services to build out into some of these areas because they will never see that money come back in. And you just can't expect those people to put it out without some reasonable expectation of getting some return. So what I've tried to do in situations like this is I've tried to work with the local municipalities and the county commissions and try to bring all the right people to the table to see if we can't solve this problem and get them in the door. And usually what happens is if we get somebody, a provider located and brought into a situation like this, and they get started, what ends up happening is we'll see some growth there, and then it'll even bring in competition, which is the best thing that can happen. You have a cable company and you have a satellite companies and you have all these different technologies, but a lot of times what happens is they'll get to a place and they'll grow to a certain extent, and then that's their largest footprint that they're going to go, and they don't see any reason to expand. So if you bring in somebody else, puts a little bit of pressure on the existing companies in the area, and that helps spur growth of the industry in your county. We got a complaint, as I said, that the internet service to the east of us here in New Cumberland was suffering and was in need of some help. So I came up here, and there was a foot of snow, and it was coming down hard, and I went out and met with some local citizens and found out that, yes, indeed, there was not very good internet service up on top of the hill south of, forgive me, I forget the name of the town right up here. Winchester?
New Manchester.
New Manchester, excuse me. And so what I did was I contacted the local cable provider, the one that is in place, and spoke with them. And after about a month, I found out that they were just not interested in expanding their area at this time because they have other areas that they feel are going to give them a better return on their investment. So I reached out to another company who provides a fixed wireless system. And a fixed wireless system is basically sending your internet via radio frequencies. And this company was nice enough to at least look at it and came in, and I spoke with their CEO, and he said, well, you know, Mark, if you can get us 40 people, he said, if you can get us 40 people, we'll consider it. And then he did a survey and found out, you know, how well he could service the area, and his engineers looked at it. And then I went back and I said, well, what if I could get you 20? And he said, oh, all right. And so he's proposed to bring in this internet at 25 megabytes per second download with a 4 megabyte upload. And those numbers are pretty much what we consider at this point in time broadband. That's fast internet. Currently, you can only get that through cable for most of this area. But with this system in place, these citizens would be able to get this at a reduced cost if we can work a public-private partnership. And I found this to be the case, and I've done this in several other counties in West Virginia, and it's been successful to this date. Is we get with the county commission, and if they can give us a little seed money, we can get the construction costs as well as the installation fees and the monthly charge for the internet brought down to a reasonable, much more reasonable than it would be otherwise. Normally, this company charges $75 per month for the same fee for the same service, 25/4, and they also charge anywhere from $150 up for the actual installation of the equipment that is necessary at the home. So I worked with this gentleman and found out that with this company and found out that if we could come up with $5,000, they would give 28, or he originally came back with 20 free installations with no charge whatsoever. And then after a little prodding, he went up to 28 because we have a list of people that right now said they would be willing to sign up if they had the opportunity. So instead of going to 20, we went to 28 free installations. So that kicks off that $150 charge that starts out. I'd like to say at this point in time, I have no affiliation with any provider in the state of West Virginia for internet service providers. I do not get anything from them. I am here solely to help expand broadband internet in our state. And so I work with whoever come to the table with me. I don't pick a particular group. I have several different providers I've worked with, and that has worked out because I'm open to whoever step up to the plate. And in this particular situation, the company is agile, and they're going to bring service to to the top of the hill up here, and if we can get them a seed money of say $5,000, they'll do that installation for those 28 people for free. And then instead of their normal fee is $75 a month for this 25-4 service, they have brought that down to $52 a month for those 28 people. Then on top of that, they said up to 40 people, they'll keep that $52 a month rate, but that 29th person signs up will probably have to pay an installation fee. See if I'm missing anything here. Are there any questions?
That's just broadband, not cable?
That is just
not
internet
phone?
service. That is purely internet service.
Mark, the list that we have before us, I think we have like 27 that's confirmed that they'd be interested in taking it. There's maybe another dozen that's up in the air. My question to you is, what exactly will be that number? Let's assume within the next few weeks, if the county commission does this, Agile wants to follow through, and all of a sudden 12 more people want to sign up. How are we going to deal with 40 folks? And
It's not the high number is not a problem, Commissioner Davis. The fact is they will have to pay the installation fee. However, they will get the $52 a month deal for the first 3 years of this contract, and these contracts will be between that company and that individual, not between the county commission and them, or the county commission has no responsibility once this is done. It'll be between the individual and the company. But that was what they were willing to do. They're going to bear the brunt of the equipment installation that is necessary to point the signal in our direction, which is not cheap. They're also going to build a receiver on this side over here on a individual's property who's already granted permission for them to do so. So they're gonna take the cost of that. And what they've basically done is looked at their ROI, or return on investment, over a 3-year period, and said, we can do this as a pilot project. And believe me, this is not them making a lot of money. This is them reaching out to be part of a public-private partnership, which does nothing but help this community, in my opinion.
no, we certainly agree with that in the private partnership, private-public partnership. My only question as I sit here today, the list that we have is a list of folks who have expressed interest in taking it, the ones that are teetering, and ones who have said no. At what point, after the commission takes action, does it actually go out there for people to sign up? And how do we determine who are the first 28 people to get it? Is it the first 28 that sign up? What happens to 29? If I understand you correctly, 29 is going to have to pay a fee.
Originally, their number was they would give 20 free installations. I spoke to you about this a couple weeks ago, and you said we can't leave these other 8 people hanging on this list that have already said they want it. And so I went back to him and I said, look, we need to do this. And he was gracious enough to come back and say, oh, okay, let's just do it.
Has these 28 people actually signed up?
They have not.
They have not, okay.
But those will be the people that we are contacting immediately after this meeting. I'm going to go out and meet with some of these folks, and over the next couple of weeks, we'll try and get in touch with each and every one of them and give them the opportunity to be the ones that sign up first.
So at a $5,000 seed, that could cover 33 installations.
That's not the only thing that is considered in that. They're also bringing the price down from $75 per month
52
to $52. That's a pretty big reduction in the actual monthly fee, as well as the fact that they're putting the money in for the construction of the equipment necessary to transmit
And I'm
to
not
this side of the river.
against any improvement that we can make infrastructure-wise.
Well, and there's another thing to look at. Once you have that service, there's only one way for it to go, and that is to grow. I mean, and then normally if there's a question about, well, what happens after the first 3 years? Usually what's going to happen is you're going to see that there's probably 300 or 400 people getting service after that 3 years, and that the cost, if anything, for that bandwidth set 25.4 is going to go down, because historically in this industry that's what's happened.
Yes, I've been involved in that. Where I live, gas was 100 yards away from me, so
you know how difficult
contacted-
it was to get that 100 yards.
No, 10 customers.
Right.
We got 12.
Right.
So we got the gas that way. That gas is now continued clean to the end of the road, which is probably.
I also mentioned that I'm currently working with the DNR on a project that is going to be fiber run to Tomlinson Run Park, right up here at 48, off of 48, where we'll be bringing in 100 meg high-speed wireless internet to all the campsites, all the recreation area, and that'll probably happen this time next year, I would say. And that's a completely separate deal. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. But that's what I try and do is if I'm going to an area, I'm working with the state park system as well as the citizens that have put in complaints, and I try and, if I have a two bird, one stone scenario, I try and take advantage of that and work with whomever I can to alleviate the issue.
So you don't need this seed money till you're going to contact these people for one final time, correct?
I just need a commitment that if we can get the agreements with these 28 people, that money will be available. That's the agreement. That's the proposed agreement. Is that if we can sign up this, actually 20 of those people, if we can get 20 of those people to sign up, that is the break point for the company before they'll come in and do it. If there's only 19, then they won't do it. And if you were to approve that monies for the seed money, it would just stay with you. If we can't get above 19, but
I'd like to see the whole area canvassed and see how many would come back, and then if you come back with 35, then it would be up to us to decide. Can we help these other 7 people? I can't see stopping here and telling Jeff, no, we're going to pay now.
Right. Well, my intention is to work with the community, and I'll go door to door, sir. And I'll knock on every person's door that I can and try and bring this to fruition. And I'll start with that list. And if I don't get 20 people from that list, I'll go to the next door. And I'll get the minimum that company requires. I just need a commitment for the commission to move forward by allowing us to have that seed money so that we can look forward with this project. And it's not... Granted, it's not a drop in the bucket, but it is a fairly reasonable amount to think of when you're talking about the quality of life and the service that you're going to expand to your constituents.
And then after 3 years, you're saying the fee, the monthly fee is $75.
That is the current rate for 25.4.
What's about their average increase per year? I mean, they're not going to come back in 3 years and all of a sudden hit $200.
It's not, no. Historically, the price per megabyte per second has gone down. Historically. Used to be, you were able to get a DSL line, which was 3 megabytes to 6 megabytes download and 1 megabyte upload for $80 to $100. From the phone company. And you were lucky if you got 3 megabytes, if you used that service. It all was dependent on how close you were to the CO. But with this technology, you're pretty much guaranteed that rate, and there's no cap on it. Some people use cellular at this point to get their internet. They use hotspots with cellular. The problem with that is, after they download 10 gigabytes of information, they are cut way back on what they can download, or they're charged an exorbitant fee above what they were originally paying in order to get more data downloaded. This has no caps on it whatsoever. The old DSL, you can think of it as a single 2-lane road going through the county, and that DSL is every car carry a package of information in that car. You can only get as much information as cars down the road. Well, if we do this, you get 25 wide lanes, and those 25 lanes can have 25 cars coming down them at the same time, all carrying information, and that gives you an expanded bandwidth. But also, they don't stop it when 100,000 cars have come through, which is what happens in the other scenario with the caps. When the caps happen, what happens is they only allow a certain amount of cars through, and they just say, can't do this.
Well, who was the one that come up with this list so far? Was that you or somebody working with you?
It was Sam DiCaprio that was the one that wrote the letter to us, to the governor's office. And there was actually 2 others, whom I don't have their names in front of me, that I've received from this area that said that they had problems with their internet service. And as I said, I work with the Department of Natural Resources. I work with them all over the state as well, trying to get internet to their parks. So whenever I have a situation that overlaps at all, I'm trying to do just like the companies, make my time count as much as it can. I go to those areas and see if I can't work something out for that county.
So will there be a lot more homes left out there that can be tapped into?
I think there's like 40, 45 homes.
Total?
Starting from New Manchester out to where I'm at. I think there's like 45.
And then how about beyond?
Beyond? We had talked that they may be able to go down on Hardin's Run.
Right, and the thing with this is there's a propagation map that they put out. When they put a particular set of equipment on their tower, they do a propagation map, and it shows you what area it'll cover.
Mm-hmm.
But if they start getting requests from Weirton, that, hey, we want this service too, then they put new equipment up that expands that area of propagation that can see that signal. And, well, hey, you know what? We can use a different frequency and hit some of these people that we can't reach now with a new technology that's a lower frequency that can penetrate over hills and through trees, and we can hit these people too. And usually this is just the foot in the door of trying to expand the internet broadband. And what also happens with competition is that company that wasn't willing to stretch their service out into Sam's area, I guarantee you, within a couple of years, they're going to be out there knocking on doors saying, "Hey, we're going to expand into your area," because they don't want to miss out on that customer.
I know that it's a problem in certain areas of the state, because when we're down in Charleston, the sad thing is there are people out there that have no high-speed internet. Some people don't even have internet. It's still on dial-up.
You'd be very surprised. I just finished doing this exact same type of project in Clarksburg, where 6 miles from Clarksburg they had absolutely
I wouldn't want to see a particular neighborhood stop at a certain point, and then the other people are the ones that are going to pick up the cost. I'm all for seed money. I just,
Well, that's why they call it a public-private partnership, is because it doesn't. This really isn't. It's just an incentive for them to do this particular work. In order, it's them asking you to put a little skin in the game, so that they know that they're going to be able to continue to service the area, and it helps them, because they can't make a business model. If he goes in front of his board of directors and they say, "What are you doing giving out this internet for $52 a month and no installation fee?" Well, he can say, "The county commission worked with us, and we've gotten this stipend from the commission, which allows us to move forward with this project and not lose money. And this is a pilot project, and we put the word pilot on it so that he he has the ability to work with his people, so that we can make these kind of arrangements.
Mark, how many folks? I mean, it looks like it's going to be between 20, 28 people sign up for this. Okay,
That's our hope.
that's your hope, and you definitely have to hit 20.
Right.
Okay, so my thought is if we took, if the commission did $5,000 in seed money and we divided that by 20 some people, it's about $180 a customer that the commission's putting towards the seed money towards this project. If we were to move forward and we set a sign up date and an ending date, and that number grew to 35, if the county commission was able to put the seed money up for those additional 7-8 people at $180 a person, do you think your company or the company that you've been talking to go along with that?
I can't promise you that they would, but I'll tell you this: they're very progressive, and they're also very willing to work with us, and that's why they're taking this step. This isn't a big moneymaker for them.
I understand.
They aren't looking at this as this is going to improve their dividends this year. What they're looking at this is West Virginia needs help. They want to continue to expand into West Virginia. This is a good pilot project in order to give them a foothold, and that they can continue to work with us. I'm sure that they would be willing to do something if I was to reapproach them after the fact and say, this project's taken off and we need another, if I can get $180 per individual above this number from the council or from the commission, would you be willing to do some more installs? And I'm sure that they would be willing to work with me. I don't know if that would be the end number or whatever per person, because you also have to figure in that's $75 a month down to $52. That's over a period of 36 months. So they're losing what? Math don't fail me now. Not $25, but close to it. $23.50 or $22.50.
Right. I just want to make sure that once, if we start down this path, today begins the sign-up date. Here's the ending date. Everyone in that area has had the opportunity to speak with a representative to say either yes or no. And after the period ends, somebody doesn't come back and say, I don't know anything about it. I missed out on the deal. Now I got to pay an installation fee. I just want to make sure that we kind of cover those bases.
I'll approach him about it, okay, in the interim.
Those are fine details to be worked out.
But if you guys are willing to say that you would come up with additional funding to support that above that 28 number, then I'm sure that we could work something out. Okay. I can't promise you, but I'm telling you, my instinct is to tell you that yes, I can work something out.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
I've got to go knock on doors.
That's fine. Thank you. We'll be back in touch with you, Mark. Thank you for showing
Thank
up
you for your time.
Thank you. Very good. Moving on, Karen, anything to come before the commission today? Mr. Lucas.
I think I want to congratulate Joellen Kessel. I think it came out that she just celebrated, was it her 39th anniversary with the county, and she's the longest tenured county employee. So congratulations to Joellen. She's always been a big help to me. So just that acknowledgement probably is due.
Great. Mr. Vitus?
I have nothing else.
Carol from the Extension Office?
Thank you for the continued support of our office. We greatly appreciate it. Anne, who started just a little over a month ago, is throwing gangbusters. We're already set to do our Meet the Plants program at A.T. Allison. We're looking at doing some work with the gardens and the children at New Manchester Elementary. We have our largest Master Gardener class ever that she's working at, and she's loving every minute of it. So we're having a great time. Getting ready to start sending out applications for Energy Express. We're getting ready to do some interviews next week for additional staff. After that, I should only need, I'm hoping, one more mentor. So we're getting really close to getting full staff there. and of course, games are going to be coming up soon. So we are in the busy season and love and life.
Thank you. Thank you. Jeannie from the election office?
Just wanted to remind everybody the last day to register to vote or to make any changes will be April the 17th. Also, we'll start early voting. That's April the 25th, and that runs through May the 4th, and that's 8:30 to 4:30. We also have 2 Saturdays, April the 28th and May the 5th, and those are 9 to 5. So come and see us.
Thank you, Jeannie. Jackie, the health department?
Well, I just want to say thanks for the 10 interested persons of Hancock County wanting to serve on the Board of Health. And the interest is there, and I'm sure it will continue. Also, it's the time of year for renewal of permits. So all those permits will be going out in the next week or two for all the established businesses. And we have new campgrounds popping up everywhere. Those also have to be pre-authorized and approved to be permitted. So just a reminder to the public that that needs to be done. So,
Thank you. Mr. Wright?
Real quick, those of you who work here in the courthouse probably noticed that parking's been at a premium the last couple of days, and it's not going to get any better tomorrow because we're bringing the jury back in. And then next Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll be convening the grand jury, so parking's going to be an issue those 2 days also, but it is what it is.
Thank you. Sheriff?
I'm good.
Mr. Foley?
I also would like to congratulate Joan. She does a fantastic job. She's been here a long time, and she knows everybody in the county. So if you know anybody, yes, Joan. She can tell you so well.
Good.
But she does a fantastic job.
Thanks, George. Commissioner Cowie?
Definitely had Joe Ellen down also on my list to congratulate for her 39 years of service here in the county. Also wanted to congratulate both Sam DiCaprio and Ryan Scott to their appointment to the boards, and also for all the people that came in and had the interviews that took time there for the applicants for the both health board and for the others. So I want to appreciate and thank you for taking time for the county to do that.
Thank you.
I'll echo the same for Joanne Kessel, and I'll keep this short because you're out of time. We recently, this week, received letters from the Ethics Commission. We were informed of a possible malfunction of the commission, and we were found innocent of any wrongdoing. So I'd like to put that out there. And that's it.
Thank you,
We're running out of
Commissioner.
time.
Thank you. Just want to echo the thoughts of the other commissioners on Joe Ellen and the applicants that signed up and came in for interviews today for the health department. So I have to say, if we have no further business, we do have, gentlemen, we have to come back in on April 17th, which is a Tuesday at 9 a.m. to set the levy rates. I'll accept a motion that we adjourn, and our next meeting will be on April 17th, which is Tuesday, for the purpose of levy rates.
Make the motion. We do that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting's adjourned.